Good evening. Although many of us students don't realize, the level of educational disparity in the United States is very real and is definitely still a problem. Ethnic and cultural backgrounds play a key role in child development and could be a main factor in the educational gap found. The most common form of educational inequality is found in racial and ethnic backgrounds. The earliest signs of educational inequality can be found in kindergarten. Psychological science has been examining the ways to help better the gap in educational levels. According to the American Psychological Association, the easiest way to identify gaps in student learning abilities are through school-wide tests, along with looking at the rate of dropouts and what ethnic background they come from. There are many reasons educational gaps exist. From the life of the student at the house, cultural differences also play a main role in student learning abilities. We can help close the gap in education by employing better teachers that have a better understanding of cultural differences. Also by informing families on how their children can be successful in the U.S. school system. Students from all ages spend about 8 hours a day at school and the rest at home. So this means that the home influences a huge part of how the student applies himself at school. Students with low-income households aren't able to receive as rich of a learning environment compared to those with a high-income household. Many factors play in childhood development, from literally the nutritional value in the food to provide a healthy brain, to just being exposed to higher vocabulary and having more opportunities to learn via child cares and tutors. In many cases, low-income households are not able to provide these things for their children. Many of these children deal with high levels of stress from troubles at home. All these factors play in the development of a child and are part of the reasons for the educational gap. According to Vanessa Stacks from Child Trends, neurologists have discovered that poverty is even associated with differences in brain structure, particularly the areas that are related to language, reading, executive functioning, and spatial skills. Cultural differences play a main role in the educational gap. Students usually reflect their cultural background, and if that background doesn't have a strong emphasis on education, then it's a constant struggle for that student to strive. Since your culture is learned from your parents, and as most children do what they see, then it's not surprising that cultures with low importance to the education system have children that see it the same way. Culture in the classroom is always present through gestures and the way that children interact. The level of respect the students that students have for the teacher. One of the main reasons teaching young children is so difficult is because every single student has a different culture, and in having different cultures, they would all have different strengths and weaknesses in their learning experience. Educators play a main role in student development, and in saying that, having an educator that can individualize the work and stay on track with the curriculum would benefit all students. Making teachers aware on how to identify educational gaps would help tremendously in closing the educational gap. Now, teachers can't be held accountable for teaching children for the children. Their parents must play a role and show their children the importance of education. Teachers must be aware of the differences in their students outside of the classroom, and they must also take consideration their own tendencies. Sometimes it may be a matter of changing how they give instructions to the students that would make it easier for some students to understand. There are many ways to get parents motivated for their children to better them in school. Parents only want what is best for their children, but if the parent doesn't know or see the benefit of education, they will never know why school is important for their child. Teachers play a main role in what the children will learn and how they will, and they do play a role in how the student intakes the information. Appreciating and accommodating the cultural difference and seeing everything in a positive manner leads to successful students. Many things can be done to better education and close the educational gap. We have to look at students as individuals, not a classroom as a whole. Now, for all those future teachers out there who will work to better the educational system and help those less fortunate. And now I have a PowerPoint that I wanted to present during the speech, but I forgot. And that is showing the levels of dropouts and college enrollments between whites, Hispanics, and blacks in the classroom. And it's very interesting. Camera guy. This was meant high school dropout rates to college enrollment from 1977, 1992, and 2007. The white is white, the black is black, and red is Hispanic. And if you look at the rates, well, they're all lowering, which is good. And here they all seem to be rising, which is also good. That means the educational system is getting better by the day. Thank you.